Hi, my name is Shaul, and I'm one of the sales managers at Data Technologies, a leading company in the world for vision-based bulk counting systems. In this video, I'll be talking about one of our tabletop systems, the U-60B with a bowl feeder. The U-60B is comprised of a few modules. The feeding mechanism, which is comprised of the bowl feeder and the linear track. This system brings the objects to the counting head. As they fall through the counting head, which is here, the three cameras in the system see the objects from 360 degrees, and the algorithm, with the software on this PC, interprets the images into an actual count. A very actual, very fast, and accurate count. This system can count objects ranging sizes from 1 millimeter all the way up to 25 millimeters, different types of shapes, materials, and we can reach rates of 200 objects per second, while maintaining the highest accuracy level compared to any other solution on the market. In this video, I'll be displaying all the processes done on the system, from the one-time object setup that we need to do for each object. As I said, it's a one-time process. Once information is stored on the system, you never have to do it again. And we'll be doing different types of countings, from free count to count all the objects we have on the system, to batch count to targeted batch numbers.
The first step of the setup process is controlling the flow and speed of the objects falling into the counting head. By controlling the vibration both on the bowl feeder and the linear track, we control the speed of the objects flowing through them. We need to reach a constant one-layer flow of objects falling into the counting head to ensure the highest accuracy possible. Once we've reached the flow that we're looking for, and the objects are falling into the counting head as expected, we press Stop Testing. After we press Stop Testing, we press Done, and that'll bring us to the second step of the setup. In the second step of the setup, the system needs to learn the size and shape of the objects we're counting. That will again ensure a higher level of accuracy. For that, the system needs a certain amount of samples to fall through the counting head, and while these objects are falling through the counting head, the system learns the size and the shape. Once the system has enough samples, it'll stop automatically, and we can move on to the third step. In the third and final step of the setup, we're controlling the parameters to enable us to reach a stable target count. This process can be either done manually by experienced users, or fully automatically by pressing automatic calibration. Once the system reaches the parameters it needs and can reach a stable target count, we can test it and see that it's accurate. In the test process, we insert a number of objects we want to reach, in this case for example 30, and we press Test. We do this process a few times to see that each time the count reaches the exact target number we're looking for, without any overfills on one hand, and without it taking too long on the other hand. Once we see a stable target count reached, we press Back and Done, and that finishes the setup process for this specific object. To do a batch count, we go in the main menu to the job setup. We make sure we're counting the correct object, in this case connector pin 20. We choose the number of objects we want in each bag, in this case 50. And the number of bags we want to count, for this instance, we'll be counting 5 bags of 50. We have the possibility to do the permitted overfill, but in this case, for the example, we'll leave it at 0. When we press run, it'll start counting. It'll count very quick until very close to the target number, dropping the last few objects in small pulses. In this specific case, we can see that the pulses were a bit too strong, and we had an overfill of 2. So we can either reject or accept the bag, and continue, and then fine-tune the last pulses to make sure we don't have any overfills. As you can see, the smaller pulses enabled us to reach the target count that we needed. Each time we press next, it'll start counting the next bag. Once we've finished counting 5 bags of 50, we can go into the batch report and see everything that was counted. The number of bags, how long it took us for each bag, and how many objects we had in each bag.
To conclude, after seeing the system, we understand that this is the most versatile, fast, and accurate system on the market for counting processes. Versatile because on one feeding mechanism, without any need for tooling, we can count a huge variety of different shape, size objects. Regarding speeds, our ability to count multiple objects at the same times gives us much higher speeds compared to standard counting systems that can count about 2-3 objects per second, while we can reach rates of tens per second and sometimes 100, 200, depending on the object. Regarding accuracy, our system has a proven record of achieving higher levels of accuracy compared to standard counting systems on the market, and a much higher level of accuracy compared to weight-based scales. This is the U-60B. Thank you very much for watching.
Data Technologies. You can count on us.